Let me ask you something. How often do you wake up feeling stuck in the same patterns, like you're living on autopilot while everyone else seems to be thriving? You scroll through social media, see people chasing their dreams, building success, and wonder, what am I doing wrong? The harsh truth, mediocrity sneaks in when discipline slips, when distractions win, and when you settle for being comfortable instead of becoming unstoppable. But here's the good news. You don't have to live like this. Breaking free starts with a shift, a mental revolution that turns ordinary habits into extraordinary results. These 12 habits aren't just motivational fluff. They're tools forged from proven strategies to build an unshakable mindset. You'll stop surrendering your time to distractions, turn pain into growth, and finally take control of your focus and purpose. Imagine waking up each day knowing you're stronger, sharper, and more resilient than the person you were yesterday. That's what this is about. Leaving mediocrity behind and stepping into a version of yourself that doesn't just survive, but dominates. Here's the kicker. Most people will never take these steps. They'll keep living for comfort and quick wins while you quietly outwork, outgrow, and outlast the competition. Ready to break out of the cycle? Let's dive into these 12 habits and start building that bulletproof mindset you've been searching for. Building a bulletproof mindset isn't about pretending life's easy. It's about realizing that the storms don't stop, but you can learn to stand tall in the rain. Resilience comes from discipline, self-awareness, and an inner fortress of confidence. Think of your mindset as a muscle. It doesn't grow without resistance. Every obstacle, rejection, or failure is your training ground. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Start asking, what is this teaching me? That subtle shift changes everything. Discipline is your compass here. Most people think resilience is just endurance, but it's also preparation. Taking control of your focus and aligning with a clear purpose strengthens your ability to adapt when chaos hits. It's about showing up every day, even when it's hard. To fortify yourself against the noise and doubts, for example, if you find yourself swimming in spiraling thoughts, pause, take a deep breath, and rewrite the story. This isn't avoidance, it's adaptation. Resilience also requires a touch of self-respect. When you develop this mental toughness, you stop reacting to the world and start creating your own. You're no longer ruled by distractions or self-doubt. It's a shift from playing defense to playing offense. And that's the secret. Your growth doesn't come only from what you endure, but from how you respond to it. So, what about the habits that can fuel this transformation? The way you start your day sets the tone for your entire mindset. Wake up early, not with dread, but with a clear intention. Deciding from the first moment that you're done being average. Skip the phone, scrolling. Instead, focus on gearing up for purposeful action. Ever tried making your bed first thing? It sounds simple, but it's more than just tidying up. It's a small victory, a proof of discipline that reminds your brain you finish what you start. That's momentum before breakfast. Next, there's movement. But let's be real. It's not about a six-pack or bench press stats. It's about pushing your body to wake your mind. A brisk walk, a round of push-ups, or even dancing in your kitchen can reconnect you with your sense of power. Now, let's talk about crafting a journaling habit. Don't treat it like a chore or a poetic masterpiece. Instead, think of it as mental diagnostics. Ask yourself what drained your energy yesterday or what excited you most, and write it down. Clarity grows one page at a time. Finally, there's silence, a habit so underrated it's practically a cheat code for mental toughness. Start with just 5 minutes of sitting still. No phone, no playlist, no distractions. And let your mind recalibrate. Yes, it feels awkward at first, but that discomfort comes from growth, not boredom. These daily rituals might be small individually, but together, they're building blocks for something far more powerful. You see, consistency turns habits into armor. And speaking of armor, what happens when life throws something harder at you? Resilience isn't born in comfort. It's forged in discomfort. Every moment of pain holds the power to teach you and push you forward if you let it. Think of it as an instructor, not an enemy. When challenges hit, most people run numb or hide. But the real secret is leaning into it instead. What rejection taught you last time wasn't punishment, it was feedback. It was life saying, here's where you need to level up. The truth. Pain fosters growth, and every setback is a rep in your emotional gym. But to use pain as fuel, you'll need to practice brutal self-awareness. Look yourself in the mirror, not to criticize, but to find the areas that need honesty. Stop saying, "It's fine," when it's really not. Ask yourself the bigger questions. Why do I keep falling for the same patterns? How am I holding myself back? Self-awareness isn't self-hate, it's self-respect in action. It's not about tearing yourself down. It's about seeing your truth and refusing to stay blind to it. Now, let's tackle failure, often seen as the villain of personal growth. It's actually your greatest ally. Every failure you embrace makes your fear of failing smaller and your persistence stronger. Picture failure as a map, showing you what doesn't work so you can get closer to what does. Those who succeed aren't the ones who avoid failure. They're the ones who get hit, get up, and keep going. Once you master this mindset, protecting your focus becomes the next essential skill. Energy, focus, and time are your most precious resources, yet most people treat them like they're endless. Let's start with your focus. It's not just a skill, it's a superpower. The world is designed to steal your attention. Endless notifications, scrolling, distractions everywhere. To guard your focus, you've got to take control. Schedule distraction-free blocks during your day. Maybe it's turning off your phone for 90 minutes or working in complete silence. Protecting your focus is like guarding a treasure chest. Everything valuable starts there. Now, let's talk about the art of saying no, something most people struggle with. Each yes you give to the wrong task or person is a silent no to something that actually matters. The ability to set boundaries isn't selfish, it's strategic. Next time you're invited to something that drains your time or energy, try this. Pause, breathe, and ask, does this serve my purpose? If it doesn't, say no without guilt. Remember, every no is a vote for your future self. In time, here's some tough love. Stop saying you don't have time. You have the same 24 hours as everyone else. It's about time management, not time shortage. Treat every minute like gold. Want to get started? Block 15 minutes tonight to plan your next day. List your non-negotiables instead of cramming 100 things into your schedule. It's not about doing more, it's about doing what matters. When you master these, you'll notice your productivity skyrockets. But there's another piece to this equation: the people you surround yourself with. Your environment isn't just where you live, it's who you interact with, what you consume, and where you invest your attention. Think of your circle like a mirror. Is it reflecting growth, ambition, and focus, or is it dragging you into mediocrity? Surround yourself with people who challenge you, not just those who clap for you when you're comfortable. If your conversations always feel surface level, it's time to find a tribe that demands accountability and pushes you to evolve. Audit your circle, because the wrong people don't just slow you down, they bury your potential. Equally important is learning to protect your energy. You don't owe everyone your time, nor does every victory need to be shared. In fact, oversharing your plans can dilute their power. Be intentional about what you keep private. When you focus on working quietly instead of broadcasting your aspirations, you shift your energy from seeking validation to mastering execution. The less noise you create, the more momentum you'll build, and the results will speak for themselves. Now, imagine combining a tight circle of supportive individuals with a dedicated effort to guard your focus. Unstoppable growth is inevitable. But for that to happen, you need consistency. You need rituals, discipline, and a commitment to follow through every single day. Execution is where dreams turn into results. The truth? Most people get stuck in overthinking, endlessly chasing the perfect plan. But here's the reality. Action beats planning every single time. Think about it. How often do we wait for motivation to strike before starting? Successful people don't wait. They execute. The difference between them and everyone else is that they act even when it's inconvenient, messy, or imperfect. Want an example? Start by committing to 15 minutes a day, working on that big goal. It might feel small, but it's movement, and movement builds momentum. This is where rituals come in. The most accomplished individuals don't rely on random bursts of inspiration. They rely on grounded habits. Consider creating simple rituals to anchor your day. A morning stretch, journaling, or even setting one clear priority every night for the following day. These rituals act like a rhythm, focusing your energy instead of scattering it. Remember, consistency isn't restrictive. It's the structure that allows creativity and productivity to thrive. Think of your efforts like planting seeds in a garden. You don't see results overnight, but daily execution waters those seeds. Each action, no matter how small, compounds over time, transforming potential into progress. Consistency is what separates those who dream from those who do. And that consistency extends far beyond physical rituals. It also applies to mastering your emotional landscape, so let's explore how emotional control fits into this puzzle of success. Your emotions are not the enemy. They're the compass pointing to what matters. But most people avoid them, distract themselves, or let chaos control their day. Developing emotional weightlifting means sitting with discomfort and saying, "I can handle this." When anger flares, think of it as a signal that boundaries were crossed. When sadness hits, it's a reminder that something mattered deeply to you. Don't suppress these feelings. Learn to process, reflect, and use them as fuel. For instance, the next time frustration strikes, pause, take a walk, and ask yourself, what's the lesson here? A surprising tool for emotional mastery is embracing boredom. Yes, boredom. Our dopamine-driven culture has trained us to fill every quiet moment with noise. But boredom isn't the problem. It's the birthplace of creativity and clarity. Train yourself to sit in stillness without grabbing your phone. Let your mind wander. You'll be amazed at the ideas that surface. This isn't a punishment. It's a strategy. Focus thrives in silence, and your mind strengthens as you learn to resist the constant pull for stimulation. Lastly, pay attention to your self-talk, because your inner voice is your most influential coach. You can't berate yourself into greatness. Instead of thinking, "I always mess up," swap it for, "I haven't mastered this yet." That one word, "yet," changes your relationship with progress. The words you tell yourself daily build or destroy confidence. So, the question becomes, how will you speak to yourself from now on? Once your inner voice is your ally, you're ready for the ultimate transformation, a deeper, more authentic version of yourself. True growth begins when you stop performing for the world and start becoming who you're meant to be. Authenticity isn't easy in a culture addicted to curation, where highlight reels and applause rule the day. But aligning with your authentic self means choosing evolution over comfort. It's about stripping away the masks you wear to fit in and embracing that raw, unpolished version of yourself. For example, ask yourself, if no one were watching, what would I still pursue? That's your truth, and it's where your power lies. Solitude is often misunderstood. It isn't loneliness, it's the space where transformation happens. When you embrace solitude, you discover who you are without the noise of outside validation. Don't fear those quiet moments where it's just you and your thoughts. Use them to recalibrate, to dream, to heal. Picture it like this. Solitude is the furnace where your most profound ideas and identity are forged. The impact isn't always immediate, but over time, it leads to clarity and alignment like nothing else. And then, there's the long game, legacy building. While most people chase quick wins, short-term gratification, and viral moments, you'll be busy building something timeless. Every action, every disciplined habit adds a brick to the legacy you're crafting. Success isn't about being seen, it's about making your work undeniable. And when you master this level of focus, your discipline transforms into freedom. But let's get into what makes that discipline not only sustainable, but powerful in the first place. Discipline gets a bad reputation these days. People think it's boring, rigid, or even suffocating. But here's the truth. Discipline isn't punishment. It's freedom disguised as structure. It's what sets winners apart. When you commit to discipline, you're gifting your future self the resources, energy, and focus needed to thrive. Think of it like this. Every small promise you keep, even something as basic as waking up at the same time every day, strengthens your sense of control and self-respect. It's about proving to yourself, you've got this. Now let's talk about rewards. Most people associate success with indulgence. A cheat meal here, a Netflix binge there, but that's not a true win. Real success doesn't need distractions to feel earned. Instead, let your reward be the pride you feel for seeing something through. Pride doesn't fade like dopamine-fueled pleasures. It grows. For instance, complete a hard workout, then take 5 quiet minutes to reflect on what you just accomplished. That's the kind of satisfaction that builds confidence. Consistency is the ultimate superpower, though. The magic isn't in a single victorious moment. It's in commitment over time. Winners aren't more talented. They're simply consistent enough to outlast the competition. And when you combine discipline with long-term effort, you'll find that every area of life aligns. But discipline alone isn't enough. To truly sustain this lifestyle, you need a rock-solid identity, a foundation that holds steady no matter the external challenges. Your identity is the foundation of everything. Your actions, decisions, and resilience all stem from it. Building an inner fortress means cultivating an identity so solid that it doesn't crumble when life throws its worst at you. Think of this as the scarred but unshakable version of yourself, a version forged through daily actions and choices. Every decision you make is like laying a brick in that fortress. Will you choose growth over gossip, persistence over procrastination? Those choices define who you become. But a strong identity doesn't build itself. It's intentional. Your self-identity grows when you stop conforming to who the world thinks you should be and start operating as the person you want to become. For example, instead of saying, "I'll try to work out," reframe it as, "I'm the kind of person who takes care of their body." That shift isn't just semantic. It rewires how you see yourself and how you act. You're no longer forcing change. You're aligning with your values. Reinvention is the final piece of the puzzle. As you choose progress over comfort, you'll find parts of yourself, habits, mindsets, even relationships that no longer align with your path. Let them go. Reinvent yourself when necessary. Evolution is about creating, not clinging. With this kind of identity, you don't just survive challenges, you thrive through them. And now, after mastering these 12 habits, it's time to put the puzzle together. So, what comes next in your journey? So, here's the million-dollar question. Are you ready to let go of excuses and take full ownership of your mindset? You've just discovered the 12 habits that can transform your life from mediocre to unstoppable. But knowing isn't enough. Execution is everything. What's the point of reading this if you don't act on it? Challenge yourself. Which one habit will you implement today? Whether it's journaling, guarding your focus, or building discipline, change starts with one step. Ask yourself, how much longer will you wait to live up to your potential? Every day spent stuck in the same patterns is a day you'll never get back. Don't settle for half measures or let fear of failure hold you hostage. Remember, failure isn't rejection, it's redirection. What's the legacy you want to leave behind? The time to start building it is now. Brick by brick, habit by habit. Stop playing defense in life and take control of the game. If this content lit a fire inside you, don't let it burn out here. Hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss more strategies to build your mindset, sharpen your focus, and grow into the person you're meant to be. Let's make this journey together. It's time to transform your life. Let's go.